Welcome back to a Hatters Walk. Some split opinion this week. Some fans are saying, well, it's Cardiff, what do you expect? Some fans are saying, actually, no shots on target until long into the second half is simply not good enough at this level. Where do you stand on all of that? Plus, did Jack Wilshere do the team talk for the Cardiff manager this week? Has he a lot to learn in terms of media expertise? We'll get Lewis, Mark and Kevin's view on all of that this week. Who impressed against Cardiff and who needs a stern talking to ahead of some big fixtures this week and this weekend. Hope you're well. 20 minutes of Luton Town chat coming straight at you. Right, should we start with you, Lewis, then? This week, are you in camp? It doesn't matter, it's Cardiff, or it does matter and we should have higher standards?
It's not about having higher standards. I think it's just having normal standards. You expect your team to have shots at goal. It's just as simple as that. You can't. It's not good enough away from home. Unfortunately, we've got parachute payments. Unfortunately, we've suffered back-to-back relegations. But it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You want your team to show a bit of fight and at least test the opposition goalkeeper. And we failed to do that. It's not good enough, and it doesn't help with Jack Wilshere's comments. He's a young manager, but some of these interviews he's doing, I would like Chris Powell to take over a few games and let Jack just come away from a little bit, because some of the stuff that Jack's coming out with, for me, I'm not understanding it. The buzzword at the moment is moments. He keeps going on about these moments. Well, we're not having enough good moments, Jack. So shut up about talking about moments and focus about winning games of football, because I'm getting sick and tired of hearing the same nonsense.
Yeah. We'll come and talk about the players in a minute, but yeah, it was of course Kevin on Wednesday. I think Wednesday before a pre-game, that he made these, I think, quite stupid comments to call out and say that I don't believe Cardiff are a better team than us, and all that has done. And the Cardiff fans we spoke to on our own podcast this week just said, look, Barry Bannermurphy didn't need to do any talking at all to his squad. He just needed to show them that, and of course they went out and had something to prove against him. Naive, would you say he was in those comments?
Naive, and like Lewis says, probably stupid. Why would you want to give Cardiff any more motivation to beat us? They are clearly the better team. They're miles and miles ahead of us in points, in terms of the way they play, the structure, in terms of points and everything. So sometimes you just have to have some humble pie and not give them any more fuel. But I also agree with Lewis. I mean, 2 seasons ago, we were scoring 3 against Arsenal. We were scoring against Manchester City. Just the fact that we went to Cardiff without even I wouldn't say the hope, but the belief that we can get 3 points is actually unbelievable, the drop. And I think that's the disappointing thing. So few people had belief. So some people are okay with it. But that should never happen. With the parachute payments, with where we've come, and with the squad we've got, like Lewis said, it's just unacceptable.
Mark, I'm sure if you knew the answer to my question, why are you so poor away from home, you could probably do a job yourself in the dugout. But for someone who travels up and down the country, spends good money, sits on buses, coaches service stations, are you sick of these performances away from home now?
I just want to come home from an away game happy and celebrating a win. And I mean, if you take Saturday, for example, I mean, it's nothing new that we're seeing. I mean, yes, the third goal was a worldie, but we just need to close them down. I mean, this is a Cardiff team that's full of confidence, top of the league. I think they know they're going up, and I think levels were just they were so far better than us in every level. And yeah, that's basically how you need to play if you're going to be a promotion winning side. I think being on the terrace, as I have been for every away game, it's almost I mean, we fought back. I mean, you go behind after 5 minutes, you're fearing the worst against top of the table, but then we had a great move, got the penalty. And no, it shouldn't have been a red card because of the rule that he attempts to go for the ball. But you get back into it and thought, right, let's go. But I think when we had that 5 minutes before half time, we didn't close them down. And then there was almost a resignation that second half, it's waiting for the inevitable to happen and lose another away game.
Lewis, there's some fans suggesting that the system he's trying to play, he hasn't got the players for it. I don't know if you agree with this tweet, which is from Andrew. It says you can't try and play a certain way when you haven't got the players. Neither centre-backs can play, and Cardiff highlighted that very, very early. We were lucky Cardiff took a foot off the gas second half, or it could have been 5 or 6. Wilshere provided Cardiff's team talk. A bit of a silly Billy. Do you agree with that point or not?
Yeah, that's why the recruitment's been as bad as it has been for the last 3 windows, because we've got different managers playing different ways. And then in the summer, we kind of recruited to play 2 different ways of football. Some players can play the 3 at the back formation and some can play the 4 at the back. But what Jack's asking the centre halves to do is to be ball playing centre halves. And that's not their strengths. Their strengths are more old school defending, kick it long, win the battles. That's what they would rather do than play out. And in League One, that's what you should be doing. I know that the Cardiff, when you look at them, they're playing out from the back, but you look at their centre backs compared to our centre backs. Their centre backs are more progressive ball playing defenders than our ones. So they're playing to their strengths, and we're kind of playing to a mixture of strengths. Some players are benefiting from it, some players are not benefiting from it. And Jack's in a situation where, right, what do I do? So in his situation, you probably should take it game by game and go, right, how can we hurt Cardiff? Right, they're not the physical side, so let's go physical against them. Instead, we tried to play out and try to be a much better ball-playing team, and it just didn't work. And the second goal, which we conceded, is a prime example. We're trying to play out from the back. We get caught out in possession, and then they take full advantage of it.
So Wigan away, Kevin, would be the perfect tonic, wouldn't it now then? Here's a team that can't win at home themselves, are in rotten form, in the bottom 4, probably heading down, managerless, and along come Luton, and they should be grabbing 3 points themselves Wednesday night, shouldn't we?
We also know that there'll be a new manager in place and they'll have everything to play for with a new style and everything else. Just to go back, and I think I even said it at halftime, I think that last comment hit the nail on the head, is you could actually see that second goal coming. We were so frazzled as well, and that the game management was a problem. You could see that they were rushing throw-ins. We were deep in their half, but we were playing it back the whole time. We were trying to play it out, and we can just see we're not doing the basics. And once again, I think Lewis is correct, is look at the teams we're playing and try and unlock it. It's very surprising that most people, and it's easy from the side, I get that, but most people can see even before the goals are coming what's going to happen. And I think that's the worrisome thing. Against Wigan, well, we're starting to have nothing to lose at this point in terms of the playoffs. So we've got to go out there and we've got to use the right key to unlock them at the back.
What's the feeling on the terraces like, Mark, or around Wilshere? I mean, obviously I scour social media, Twitter, Facebook, others, YouTube channels, to present a case to you guys each week. And I'm starting to see a lot more of tweets like this. Not many, but a lot more. Not that one, sorry, I've done that one. This one, Kilty says, Wilshere is clueless. He's out of his depth. We have to accept another year in League One. It's another pathetic away performance. And yet again, he's got us wrong tactically. Maximum points needed from the next 4 games. Otherwise, it is time for him to go. Tell me that is a rogue tweet and that the stands don't feel like that.
I mean, I can give you my personal view and just the people, my friends that I go with. And we've had 3 managers in a short time, and he wasn't going to fix it in one transfer window. Yes, he's inexperienced, and they always say that your team's a reflection of your manager, and we know how Jack wanted to play as a player, but I think in his defence that you can sort of see an identity of what he's trying to do, whereas previous managers, have we seen that or not? But yes, he's making mistakes, and he's going to make mistakes because he's an inexperienced manager, but he's got a brilliant number 2, and he's got backroom staff to help him. But I wouldn't say he's clueless. Has he, after one transfer window, got the players that he wants to play the system that he wants? I think it'd almost be a blessing in disguise to stay in League One another season, because I don't think we're ready for the Championship. I think it's been proved by how our season's gone, and our inconsistency is probably the biggest thing. So definitely he'll be given time to turn it around, and I'd almost use this season to prepare for next season to give it a good go, because I just think we're too inconsistent and we're not ready for the Championship.
Do you agree, Lewis? I mean, coming down, if you were here next year, we're potentially going to have some big names. For example, we might have Leicester and West Brom dropping into the division next season. With Sheffield Wednesday, of course, we're going to be backed by probably big money. Do you agree with Mark's point?
I don't think you can turn promotion down if it does come your way. I think that there is definitely a different style of play from league. Just as if you just look at it as a league, like the Championship's very, there's a lot more ball playing sides in the Championship. So I think the style of play would be more suited for Championship football compared to League One football. When you look at League One football at the moment, we've massively struggled against teams that play the physical way. We've not done well. And then when we do play against a team that is a ball playing side, we match up to them or we make silly mistakes. We're just too inconsistent in all fronts. So I would take promotion if it does come, because you do attract better players. So you can play more to a certain style of play, and I'm sure they would recruit to whatever style they come. But I do agree with Mark at the same time. We are inconsistent and we are appearing like we're not ready for Championship football. But yeah, I can't say no to promotion if it does come, though. You could be stuck in this league for 5 or 6 years.
Kevin, just on the games coming up, just want to get your view on this. The Burton game on Saturday, some are arguing actually the bigger game is the Tuesday night game against Plymouth. Would you agree?
Do we really have a bigger game? I think every game is crucial at this point. I think if we drop any points in the next 3 games, like the previous person said, we're going to struggle to stay up there with the top 6, especially those 4. I don't think there's a bigger game. I think they're all big at this point. We played some massive teams up the top of the log. It should be, in theory, a lot easier the ones coming up, but we can't drop points anyway. So the home games, we've got that down a little bit, but in any away game, especially now, it's going to be massive.
Okay.
We need to turn it around.
Your view on the cup, Mark, just how important it is compared to the league then. Our Plymouth fans say there's no way this should be played at Kenilworth Road, by the way. If anything, it should have been flipped to Home Park as a good gesture.
Oh yeah, I'd love another trip to Plymouth.
Well, they got through, fair and square, they were saying. They should have home priority. There we go. Should he rest players on Saturday? I've seen a couple of people suggest actually the bigger game is Tuesday night. Get to Wembley, get a trophy.
I don't believe in prioritising. I think winning breeds confidence, and if we progress, we beat Plymouth, and there's a Wembley trip in the horizon, that confidence can spread into the league form. And I agree with everything Lewis said before, that yes, I wouldn't turn down promotion, and you never know. Any wins will breed confidence, and if it means an upturn in our way form and we can sneak into the playoffs, historically, if you sneak in there, then you get some momentum as opposed to not having momentum. So no, I wouldn't say the bigger game is Plymouth. I think the biggest game is tomorrow night, because whereas Cardiff, you could almost say it's a free hit because they're so good. Wigan, these are the games, if we're serious about getting promotion, these are the games and the teams we've got to beat, as we've got Port Vale away and still Doncaster away to come.
Okay. We'll report, of course, all of that next week. Thanks for your comments on last week's show as well. We really enjoyed reading all those players which made you fall in love with Luton. Some fantastic ones. There. We're up to letter P this week in our A to Z, which we'll get to in a second. But next week, you can probably tell they're going to hit a brick wall with the letter Q. So can you help us, please? Is there a Luton Town player with a surname beginning with Q that's played for the club that is good enough to get into an A to Z of Luton? You've got a week to help us with this, and we'll definitely put your name on the screen next week if you manage to find one. Otherwise, we're going to be scratching our heads sat in silence next week. So thanks ahead for that one. We're talking playoffs and promotion. I mean, just from the 3 best teams that you've seen, Kevin, going up from League One should be Cardiff, Lincoln, would you agree? And who else?
Probably Bolton at this point. Bolton are pretty consistent. They're doing pretty well. Them and Stockport are looking favourites to try and play the playoffs. So I would say those 2. I would love to say Luton, but I'd be lying to you. We're too inconsistent. So definitely those 2. The others have also been pretty inconsistent, especially Huddersfield. A good victory, then a loss, a good victory, then a loss. So at this point, Bolton and Stockport are my favourites for the playoffs.
Lewis, has been chat this week about the EFL maybe extending playoffs to 8th place. It'd be great for Luton if that was the case this time around, of course. But is that for you as a football purist and fan?
No, I made a video on this last week, and I said about how I don't understand why we're trying to fix something that's not broken. I think the gaps between the leagues are getting bigger and bigger because of finances involved. And it's already tough for teams in the Championship to stay up in the Premier League. I know this year, Sunderland and Leeds look like they're going to break that wall. But in previous years, it's been a massive struggle. And I feel like if you're saying to me that a team that finishes 8th in a league, and they could be like 25 odd points away from 3rd, win promotion, how on earth are they going to stay up in the Premier League? I just feel like it just damages the whole point of having a league, playing all these games. I understand why they're doing it, and it's to do with money. I think if Wrexham and Birmingham wasn't involved in the Championship, I don't think this idea would have been put forward. But because they are, this is where the ideas come in. I just feel like someone's just thrown a few money signs, and they've gone, yep, we'll have a bit of that. And no one's going to say no because everyone wants more money.
Yeah, absolutely. Game's gone. It seems the reply to so many of these things. Super. Right. Who have we got for our A to Z then, please, everyone? Any good ones this week? P must be easier than O, surely. Any good ones, Mark? Must be loads from yesteryear.
And there's one that just, for me, stands out just because of my memories, and sadly he's no longer with us, but David Priest. What a player. And obviously I always refer back to that sort of era when I do the A to Zs. But yeah, he was a great player, as was Gary Parker. And I know a lot of the younger viewers are saying who? But I'm just showing my age, and not a player, but our greatest manager, David Pleat. Appropriate to mention him at the moment. Just hope he's recovering, and that he's well. So sending out best wishes to David Pleat.
Brilliant. Great show. Kevin, anyone anymore?
I would definitely give it to Priest as well. I still remember collecting the cards, and he was one of the first collectible cards as well, and an unbelievable player. Or Pleat as well as the manager. Just a mention would be Joe Payne. Back in the good old days in 1934, also scored 10 goals. The only person to ever score 10 goals in a league match against Bristol Rovers. So that's an honourable mention. And then more lately, obviously, Casey Palmer. He doesn't deserve to get in, obviously, but just a name to go around. And then obviously Dan Potts as well. But I would go with Mark definitely in terms of Priest. Let's see what Lewis has got.
Bro, yeah. We were shouting at last week, Kevin, for calling him the new Ross Barkley. I think, one game with people shouting at us in the comments. One game.
I told you.
You did. But hey, we're sensationalists. We don't care. Lewis, anything else?
I say Matty Pearson, one of the best football chants in football. I did enjoy his chant. And we could do with someone like him at the back at the moment. And he was part of our promotion winning season from League One. And then, I think David Pleat as well, because I've read his book, and to what he achieved with limited resources and, in the top division, when he said a lot about how he just didn't have the money to reinvest and to keep going again with Luton. And he kept trying and trying. So yeah, I feel like what he achieved during the top years and Luton's best years was good. So I think he deserves a mention.
Brilliant. So tough one here. Priest or Pleat, Mark?
I've got the final say.
Yeah, just because you've got the better knowledge. I think the knowledge of both.
Oh, can we not have a joint winner?
Well, if their middle name begins with Q, we can make
they're both absolute legends, and they both deserve their place in mention at the top table of P's.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to go Pleat then. There we go. Okay. Yeah. The resources that you've already, Lewis has mentioned. Yeah. Stunning. Harangue us in the comments, please, if you want. If we missed any P's this week that are pretty obvious as well. Don't forget it's a surname before everyone starts shouting out Pele and other stuff like that. Right. Q then next week. Help us out with this one. Good luck at Wigan this week. Good luck against Burton. Should be a nice 3 points on Saturday, of course, as well. Should be sitting it back here next week. 6 points the richer. Looking forward to Plymouth at home next Tuesday night. Come on, you Hatters. It's still there. See you next week.